Hey there, Alex Kidman here, and today I'm taking a look at, well, I'm wearing them, the HyperX Cloud 3 headphones. They're the follow-up, of course, to the HyperX Cloud 2 headphones, because who doesn't like a sequel? But like most sequels, what you're really getting here is a gentle reinvention rather than some radical redesign. And for the most part, they're pretty good headphones. I like them a lot, although not for the reasons that I thought I might like them, or even for the reasons I thought I wouldn't. Let's get into that by first having a look at the design. So they use a lightweight metal frame, and when I first read that on the side of the box, I kind of groaned because with my head the way it is, I have a relatively large skull and obviously, as you can see, don't have any hair. I find a lot of headphones can get really uncomfortable really fast. No hair means there's no cushioning here, a larger skull usually means with those metal frame headphones that they're pushing into my head just that little bit too much, even with padding. This is not a problem that I've had with the HyperX Cloud 3s. They've worked really, really well, even for much longer gaming or movie watching sessions or Zoom meetings or what have you. I'm really, really impressed with the comfort. I also, admittedly, really rather like the style of these headphones. Look, a lot of gamer headsets, they're fine, but they're very gamery, and I think you know what I mean. They're either like military camouflage, or they're meant to look really high-tech, or they've got lots of RGB lighting in them, and if you like that kind of thing, that's great, fine, more power to you. That's not what these do. You get these metal red accents, which I think are really elegant. I think they look really, really nice, and I like it because they extend this from, hey, I could use this for gaming, to, hey, I could just use these every day. Now, in terms of physical connectivity and design, it's a cabled-only headset, and this is connection via either 3.5mm or USB, but interestingly, it's USB-A or USB-C. There's a little inline adapter, which you can pull off to reveal USB-C, or use USB-A if you've got an older style connection. That's quite neat. And with that cable in, you've got more than 2 meters of cable sitting there, which is great, lots and lots of length. The one issue here, though, is that splits in the middle. So that connects up to this little piece here, which you then plug the 3.5mm headphone jack into. But what that means is that the 3.5mm cable is nowhere near as long, about 120 centimeters by my measurements. And look, that could be an issue if you just wanted that 3.5mm connection and you had like a desktop on the ground or something like that. Connectivity could be a little bit longer there. You might need an extension cable in that case. All of the controls for the HyperX Cloud 3 sit on the headset itself. Basically just a volume scroll wheel and a mute button. That all works fairly well. Again, I think that's a taste matter as to whether that's better or worse as being an inline, on the cable style device. Different people will have different views on that. I didn't really have a problem with it per se, but then I tend to just set my volume and leave it. You're probably the same. The mute's not hard to reach when and if you need it. The microphone itself is of that classic kind of cable-in, removable type. Works quite well, little flexible thing. What about the audio quality? Well, to do that, I'll actually have to plug in and use it, so just bear with me for a second. So I'm now actually plugged in to the camera that I'm using the wired microphone. And look, like most of them, obviously, you do have to play around with where you have it so that you can actually be heard clearly by the people you're talking to. But the audio pickup is reasonably good. There's a little LED on the microphone that indicates when it's muted, except what I have noticed is it doesn't always fire up with that light. Sometimes I've had to unplug and replug it before it goes, oh yeah, I meant to light up when that happens. Does the mute work? Yeah, that was probably super frustrating, but I think it proved the point. The light went on, the mute went out. It worked. It's functional. So yeah, look, that's perfectly fine for gaming. It's not exactly full-on pro quality, but you wouldn't expect that. That 10mm microphone, though, works pretty well. And obviously, when you're screaming at people in game because they're just headshotted you, you just want to be heard, and that's fine. Works quite well. What about actual audio quality? Well, that will vary depending on what you connect it to. So these have support for DTS Headphone X virtual surround sound, but only via PC and only with HyperX's Ngenuity software. And look, I've spoken about this before. I'm not a big fan of most gaming hardware companies add on PC software, because it all tends to be a little bit crash prone, and Ngenuity's no different here. There is a note that installing the drivers for that may introduce some latency. Now, I didn't particularly notice that, but I'm not super latency sensitive. It's something to keep in mind. You can disable it though, like you can switch it on, switch it off through the Ngenuity platform, and you're probably going to want to, not necessarily just for that latency reason, but actually because of the way that those virtual sound systems work. So if you've got a game that supports this, it can be great. It can be super immersive. It can work really, really well. If you don't, or if you're listening to music or video or other non-optimized audio, it can create this slightly hollow effect. I don't like it all that much. Obviously, again, tastes can vary, but it's very artificial to my ears. I'm not a big fan of it. But look, generally, the audio throughput on these is really, really good. And that's accentuated by the fact that they're just really, really comfortable. I know I've said that already, but it's my favorite part of these particular headphones, that they are so particularly comfortable. Of course, you can take them beyond a PC. HyperX says that they're compatible with PlayStation, and they're compatible with Xbox, and they're compatible with the Nintendo Switch. And yeah, look, that works via 3.5mm or via USB for the Switch. I've plugged it into my Switch Lite, and yeah, look, that all works just fine. No dramas whatsoever, although, of course, you don't get the DTS stuff there. You just get regular audio, but yeah, it's all fine and good. It's a nice, flexible set of headphones in that regard. So would I recommend the HyperX Cloud 3? Yeah, I would. I think they're really good. Primarily, again, because of that comfort issue, but I think that's very fundamental to headphones. If you've got good audio, but you've got really uncomfortable headphones, nobody's going to want to wear them for any length of time anyway. So that's my take on the HyperX Cloud 3 headphones. What do you think? What do you want to know? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.